we've got all the great fish that make great fish and chips.
Things are good. Hey, welcome to Fish Out Northwest, New England. Tommy Donlan. Here we are in studio, buddy. 6 p.m. Thursday evening, coming to you live from the studios here in the lovely shores of Summit Lake in Olympia, Washington. How you been?
I've been good, man. Yeah. Busy, but good. Getting ready for all my elk hunts.
So we got a number of hunts coming up, and obviously deer season opens on Saturday. I'm looking forward to that. We got all kinds of great things that are taking place here in the Pacific Northwest and beyond, and we're just happy to be back here in studio. Glad everybody's signing on here this evening. Got a number of folks jumping on, and you know, this is gonna be a great show, Tommy. We got some guests sitting here in studio who first time over here to the west side to visit us. Spent the day yesterday on the river with these fellas, got them out on the water, and boy, just nothing but accolades, and they just...
and then, I mean, the dinner that we had tonight was amazing.
Coho crack,
Coho crack, phenomenal.
Yeah, pretty amazing stuff. So, we got a lot of things to cover. Appreciate everybody jumping on here this evening to follow along. Go ahead and grab our content, spread it out there, and let folks know where you're spending your time. Because again, lots of great info and some prize packs sitting right in front of me, Tommy, giving those away here early in the show and later on. So make sure you stick around for that. But before we get too far along, I want to remind everybody, hey, Fish Out Northwest is presented by Better Homes and Gardens Pacific Commons Real Estate, located in Puyallup, Washington. Joe Maxwell and team do a fantastic job. Real estate market is extremely competitive right now. Let Joe and his team help you out. And of course, our good friends out there, DefianceMarine. DefianceMarine manufactures the Defiance, the Arima, and of course, Tommy, the Allied, sitting in the driveway, which needs to get wet other than rain, right? So the east side's calling us, my friend, as we get deeper into winter.
I'm ready to go back to Rufus Woods.
I know, that's what I'm talking about. In that Chelan kokanee fishery might be as well something to think about.
No, I'm ready to go back to Rufus Woods.
We got to give a little respect to our friends over there at Phoenix Protective Corp, phoenixprotectivecorp.com. If you are a former military and/or police looking for work, Phoenix is always hiring, and they are a top-notch company to work for. Make sure you check them out, phoenixprotectivecorp.com. So, Tommy, with that, we spent a little time on the water yesterday. Got the drift boat out, floated out here on the coast, and you know, again, as referred to, I think it was last week, let everybody know, you were served up on a golden platter, right?
Oh, yeah.
These boys had to work for it a little harder. I'm talking about Britton. Britton, first time actually doing this. From a drift boat and casting a bait caster and just the learning curve of putting that presentation out there, bobber dog and the whole thing. There's a learning curve, and we talked about that. And so,
did you give him like a 200-foot top shot of mono too, or was that just me?
That was just you.
That was just me.
We have to revisit this again. Truly, it was 18 feet like mine.
I don't believe it. But,
I know you won't.
Okay.
But
so continue on. How'd it go?
Yeah. Well, no, it was there was a bit of a learning curve, but you know, as the day progressed, sort of the skill set, and so the boys from Mack's Lure here is what I'm getting to. Bobby Loomis and Britton Ransford from Mack's Lure here, and we're fishing yesterday. They're going to join us in studio here in a little bit. We're going to talk about all the great things going on at Mack's Lure and some other additional items. And we got prize packs to give away, okay? And then Richie Herrod from Harrod Outdoors. If you're not following him, you should. Richie Herrod is here, Harrod Outdoors, and the Northwest Outdoorsmen. Phenomenal show on a number of networks. We're going to cover that with Richie, what that show is all about, the longevity of it, the history. He's a heck of an outdoorsman, fisherman, hunter, the whole thing, and just really great content. I'm excited to get these guys on set here and get into those conversations with them as well. So, but before we bring them into the studio, we want to talk about a couple of things. One that I stumbled across and wanted to actually, Don New sent me this. CCA Oregon's annual online chapter raffle is happening. You ever pay attention to the online raffles of any of these groups?
Maybe a few,
yeah. This one's pretty good. So CCA Oregon, their annual raffle, the Salem chapter, okay, they have an online raffle between now, so October, November, December. At the end of the month, they do a couple drawings. 2 prizes drawn each month. Your ticket prices are between $10 and $20. They have shotguns. They have a drift boat, a Willie drift boat.
A Willie drift boat.
Brand new Willie drift boat they're giving away. Some dry bags. They got some dry bags and backpacks are given away. So The money obviously goes towards the CCA Oregon Salem chapter, and it raises money for all the work that they do in the Northwest here. You know, it's well worth it. Spend a few bucks, and hopefully you end up winning something more than 10 times the value of what your investment is. So I want to make folks aware of that. Drawings, again, on end of October, November, in December. Prize packages, I mean, they got a ton of things they're still trying to give away, so check that out. Just go to the CCA Oregon Salem chapter online. You're going to find their auction. You don't have to be a member to sign up, and you can be anywhere virtual and just, you know, get on there and give it a go.
That's beautiful.
Something else, I had a great conversation with James Losey a couple days ago. You remember James Losey, his name came up quite a bit last year as the Steelhead Management Program and management plan was unfolded, and the direction that it headed, and the conversations we had with the Guides Association and all that was, and the rule changes specific to steelhead out here on the coast and other parts of the region. So first of all, Tommy, if anybody thought that those rules being implemented were just a short sell.
A one-time deal.
Yeah,
no, right.
You're sadly mistaken, okay?
Yep.
First of all, I want you to take and think about the fact the Columbia River steelhead return this year. Dismal, right? Lowest we've seen in over 30 years. Very concerning. That should be a red flag to everybody to go, well, if that massive run in the Columbias and such, you know, in the toilet, what's it going to do to our other steelhead runs? I mean, these fish all navigate out to the same ocean. They kind of have the same life cycle and pattern as they migrate and come back down towards the coast, and then they go their separate ways. But the preseason forecast numbers on our coastal fisheries are not good, folks. And last year, Tommy, if you remember, we were talking about the fact, gosh, you know, I wish WDFW would be more proactive than reactive. I would like to see information available prior to being December 15th, and we're talking about closing fisheries, or restricting access, or only fishing, or you know, cannot fish from a floating device, and all the rules that were implemented, no bait restrictions, no scent, barbless single point, you know, hook, all those things. And people were really upset about it. Well, you get what you ask for sometimes, and you need to be thankful. So WDFW has gone to great lengths. They put the pressure on all their field bios. Get your numbers in early. We need the numbers. We need to know where we're landing on this steelhead season. It's important that we bring the information forward. And do I dare say the co-managers are on board with this thing, and throw rocks at them if you want, but it was confirmed to me that there was not nearly, if any at all, pressure from the tribal commercial fishery in that Grays Harbor region last year. Like, people were throwing that out there. I was pissed off about it. But the truth was, the nets were not in at that dire time, and they did not harvest or go to harvest after those fish after their salmon season. That's what I was told. We can confirm that. Hopefully, if persons feel that information is false, but I was told that by a reliable source. Okay, so I'm going to take it at face value. I guess what I'm getting to is that the meetings are scheduled. WDFW has scheduled a public invite to a virtual meeting. The first one's going to be October 26th, okay? Coastal Steelhead Town Hall. It is something that persons need to sign on to and pay attention to and have input and look at the numbers, look at the information coming from WDFW. If you think we're getting our steelhead seasons back as they were before, you've been misled. I see this as being a 4 to 6 year window. We're not going to be fishing out of our boats for a bit of time until we see these numbers turn around.
So what do you, when you think about like root cause analysis and trying to identify, you know, the root of this problem, you know, we had excellent ocean conditions this year, and on the salmon side of the house, it was excellent, right? So what do they think that it is that is causing these poor returns? I
haven't gotten back into that conversation once again. You know, there's been always the old adage like, well, if we see a really strong coho return, that's usually favorable to what we see on our winter steelhead run. I'm just gonna throw it out there that I don't think we're gonna see that this year. We got a phenomenal coho fishery, right? Columbia River numbers are off the charts. We'll see if it gets to the 1+ whatever million they've kind of brought it back down to. Our coastal fisheries seem to be performing pretty well as of late. The rivers we're fishing, we see a lot more hatchery coho than we are wild coho. Bit concerning, albeit the big push of wild coho typically really starts showing up in November, so that's yet to truly show face value. So we'll see how that materializes. But as far as the steelhead deal, what is it? Is it poor survivability in the smolt category? We talked last week about the enhancement projects going on some of these rivers out here in the Grays Harbors region and up there north and the Stillaguamish and whatnot. That enhancement doesn't just aid salmon smolt. That is crucial for steelhead survival. Think about trout and the cover that they seek in rivers and the bugs that they feed on and all that this type of restructuring and wood and stuff in the river create, right? Aquatic bugs, insects, microorganisms, the whole thing. Those smolt will seek out that shelter in the dark shaded areas in the cool water, and you would hope that survivability would go higher. But when we see studies that reflect on the Columbia River, for example, where we know for certain, an 11-year study on bird predation, on avian predation, from the Snake River to the mouth, and they know that it was eliminating via 14 bird colonies, 70% of the outbound steelhead or migrant steelhead smolt. Okay, how much more proof do we need? So now, what are we doing about the avian predation? That's the next question, right? So that is a whole nother subject. I guess getting a little off the rails here, but the point is, the public invite to the meeting October 26th. Go to www.wa.gov and simply click on the news tab and scroll down. It's going to list all meetings, all venues, it's going to have all links. Everything is under news. They put those announcements out for everybody to find. It's extremely easy to find, and I would encourage you to do so. They would like to see a good showing of not only recreational fishers, but guides and Guides Association affiliate members as well. They want this thing well attended so the message gets out there loud and clear and everybody can work collectively towards recovery. And I think that's an important deal. And here it is. We're talking October. Right. We're having a virtual meeting in October. It's not December 20th.
Right.
Okay. It's
a lot better than last year's
2 months earlier, which, you know, I tip my cap to WDFW because we're trying. And so we can beat up on them as much as we do, but when they do it and put in a good effort, you gotta kind of give them accolades.
Amen.
Right? So, all right. So make sure you get on that. We'll post those links on our social media as we get closer. All right, running down the show, Tommy. We got a great show lined up here tonight. We got Bobby Loomis and Britton Ransford here from Mack's Lure. They are here spending a couple days. We are kind of doing a little cross-pollination in our social marketing, social media and marketing and that type of stuff. Jordan, I think we got that slide that goes up. We'll get an update on what's going on at Mack's and some of the great gear here to give away later on in the show. We got great stuff that they brought in. Richie Herrod is here, Harrod Outdoors, and you'll want to stick around and hear what Richie has to say. He works extremely hard, puts out a phenomenal product with the Northwest Outdoorsman. Richie also brought some swag. He's got an entire seasoning and boy, is it delicious. Oh my God. Yeah, he made that Coho crack tonight, and let me tell you, deep fried Coho. We got the seasoning packet here. We got a sharpening stone from WorkSharp. He'll talk a little bit about that. WorkSharp's one of his main sponsors. Great folks over there doing good things. So Richie brought in some swag to give away, and these are some prize packs that you'll definitely want to stick around for. We're also going to have an in-studio discussion with Bobby and Richie later on the show, Tommy, about how our day went on the river yesterday. Yeah, I'm excited to hear it. Yeah, so another perspective on it, right? And from Britton's perspective, and the first time of him doing that and just kind of trying to take it all in and get to where we got. It was a good day. It was a lot of fun. The weather was beautiful, man. It was fantastic. Beautiful. So we'll catch up with them and see what they truly think about spending a day on the river with me. So, no gag orders, right? Like nothing but the truth. Yeah, right? All truth coming out. Then, hey, we get to jump back in the bait lab tonight, my friend. It's been a few weeks. I have some fresh coho eggs we're going to cure up. And often I get the question on how do I make my eggs a little more durable? Yeah. Yeah? Yep. So mature salmon eggs in the river have begun to deteriorate because the fish are getting ready to spawn, which makes sense that those eggs the skin starts pulling back and they start loosening up. We're going to show you a recipe that I've created. Just finished an updated blog for Potskis. Hopefully that will be out in a couple days. You're going to see the video version of that tonight here in the bait lab. Going to show you how to cure coho eggs and make them a little more durable so you get a few more casts out of them. And you know, and that's the thing. Like you told me, we're doing the bait lab this week, and it's going to be curing eggs. I'm thinking, well, we cured eggs. Dude, you cured eggs, and then like 2 weeks before that, you cured eggs. And how many egg videos do you have? Oh, right, hundreds. And you kind of said, well, hey, like it's a lot different if you're using frozen eggs versus fresh eggs. How loose are the eggs? And so, the bottom line is that you have to read the product that you're using to start with, and then based on what you're fishing for and how you're fishing it and what that product start state is,
that's how you determine what cure cycle you're going to go through.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of trial and error.
yeah.
And when you find stuff that works, you write it down.
Right.
And you keep track of it. And then when you're catching fish and you feel like you should share that with the world, you just put it out there.
Right.
And that's what we do
that's
here.
what you're going to do
that's
tonight.
What we do, Fish on Northwest. Then we're going to close out the show. We got some great bits of information that I want to share, some other news you need to know. And, of course, we're going to finalize the giveaways here this evening on the show. So before we get too far along and continue to blabber, we're going to jump out for a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to introduce everybody to the Mack's Lure crew. Bobby Loomis and Britton Ransford are here in studio and can't wait to introduce you to them. And we'll do that right here after this break. Fish on Northwest.
DefianceMarine is the one-stop shop for the Pacific Northwest angler. Whether you are looking for a small skiff to fish the Sound or rivers or a huge offshore tuna machine, DefianceMarine has it. At DefianceMarine, be sure to power your boat with a Honda outboard package. Take advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty on your Honda outboards. Our service department is always here to help and serve you as the customer. Did you know DefianceMarine has boat financing experts to help get you the best term rates on your new boat purchase? If you need financing for that new boat, call us today. We guarantee the best price, best service on a repower for your current boat. DefianceMarine is a Honda Premier dealership and one of the largest on the West Coast. DefianceMarine also carries all the gear that you will need. Everything from auxiliary kicker motors to fishing tackle and bait. DefianceMarine has certified technicians that are top-notch at their job. Some of the best in the Pacific Northwest at evaluating your boat issues and problems. Stop in today or give us a call for all your needs at DefianceMarine.
Today, the need for quality private security services is at an all-time high. Contract Security Service provides day-to-day peace of mind as they protect people and property. Here at Phoenix, we provide service for multiple state and federal contracts with services ranging from uniform, patrol, alarm monitoring, canine detection, executive protection, as well as investigative work. Phoenix client management models are built on understanding our clients' security needs and responding with a tailored program that is best fit for them. Phoenix provides excellent customer service through well-trained, highly motivated security professionals. Recruiting highly qualified officers is the first step in building a strong team. Currently, we are comprised of 70% prior law enforcement and military veterans. If you are prior military or law enforcement, go to www.phoenixprotectivecorps.com and apply today.
Hey, welcome back, Fish on Northwest. Wayne England, Tommy Donland. Hey, we got guests in studio.
We
buddy.
do.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
Oh, it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while. I've had to look at your same face for weeks and
I know. Isn't it horrible? It's ugly, isn't it?
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
So, hey, I want to introduce everybody to Bobby Loomis and Britton Ransford here from Mack's Lure. Now, the Loomis name, somebody, you might recognize it.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit.
It's out there a bit. Welcome, boys.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah? Let's not be so official here.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, come on.
There's only
We got
one
away.
gentleman between the two of us, and he's right here.
Yeah,
just to let you know.
That's how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, first time over here. You guys finally made it over to the house. We were able to get a day on the river, which we'll delve into a little bit later here. But, yeah, what do you think? Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you very much.
This is fun.
Hey,
Yeah.
we're excited.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it's one of those things that we've talked about for a couple of years and kind of evolved and finally,
Yep.
you know what, you just got to do it.
Well, big thanks and appreciation to you guys. You've been a sponsor of our show since day one.
Sure.
So we really appreciate Max being on board. Not only sponsor the show, you sponsor the bait lab. And you don't even sell bait, so what the heck, right? So it's it's the industry.
If you're going to talk about bait, you might as well mention Mack's Lure before it. So
Yeah, there you go.
That's true.
Right. That's a good point. Hey, let's get everybody caught up to date here. When was Max established? Do you know, Bobby?
1969.
1969.
Yeah.
a couple years ago.
Yeah, that was a few years before Britton was born.
It was.
So-
It was.
Quite a few years.
How long have you been there?
I've been there, I think, 12, 13 years.
Yeah. Britton?
I started in 2016, so
Okay.
this is my
All
fifth
right.
year.
Awesome.
Yeah. Let everybody know what it is you do. for Max, and then Britton,
nobody's really quite sure.
Nobody knows what you do actually.
Exactly. It's just one of those things that you go take care of that. No, I originally went to work there, like I said, 12, 13 years ago, because of the fact that I've been in the industry a while and wanted to help Max out. Happened to be in Wenatchee. I wanted to stay on the east side of the mountains. Got tired of the whole rat race on the west side, and
it's slowed down a lot over here.
Yeah. I've noticed. And it was something. After spending 25 years over here and getting back, I originally grew up in Chelan,
right.
So getting back over to the east side was great, and then finding something that I actually could stay in the industry and, impart what knowledge I've gained over 25 plus years. It was something that was fantastic for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a great deal. So staying over there and helping Max out on building from where they were at, just because of contacts and knowledge and everything else. I kind of took over the sales and marketing originally, and as everything has evolved over the years, kind of turned loose on the marketing side, because let me think, technology, that's not my bag.
Not your bag, baby.
No.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to talk about technology and carbon fiber and resins and tubular structure and things like that, I can absolutely talk all day long with the best of them.
Right.
But when it gets into social media and things like that, that's where we have gentlemen like Britton over here. And he's absolutely phenomenal at what he does. Yeah. So he's handling the marketing stuff right now.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about that, Britton. Bobby introduced you to me several years ago at fish camp. Yeah. Hey, this is our new kid we brought on board. He does all the marketing stuff. Talk to him. I'm like, oh, all right. So we sat
2
down
days later, we were
started
sponsoring.
talking, huh?
2 days later, we were sponsoring the show.
Yeah, 2 days later, sponsoring the show. Apparently, I got a good sales pitch. So.
Exactly.
I need $2,700 more, by the way. For
great.
Boat storage.
Yeah. Anyway, talk a little about your roles and responsibility, Britton, what you have going on at Max, and you've done a phenomenal job, and there's some new things coming out here down the road, too.
Yeah, so I kind of have a similar path of Bobby. So I also originally from Chelan. Was in Seattle, right after college.
And you love purple.
Before I moved to Seattle,
are you a little more partial to crimson?
I lived in Pullman for 4 years.
I'm sorry.
For very strategic reasons, and then
yeah, I like that. Go Cougs, go Cougs.
And I worked for the Seattle Mariners and the Seahawks for 3 years, working in the marketing department. Ended up wanting to move home. It wasn't a very tough decision to go from baseball and football to fishing. And when I arrived at Max Lure, pretty behind on the website and the social and digital side. And so Bobby and I kind of work as a team, just trying to build the sales and marketing side. We've grown quite a bit in the last 5 years. Just we're a 50-year company that can still grow, and so
that's great.
It's been really fun to kind of take all of our history and then just kind of make it more new age digital. And we have some really cool plans for the website coming up in the next couple months, and a pretty expansive rebrand, and really targeting a whole bunch of different fisheries, and it's pretty exciting. So.
Bobby, with Loomis, you had a lot to say about rod design and building rods and how that all came together and whatnot. I mean, your input into the industry changed the game significantly. Where do you land on research and development, or putting input into a lot of the newer lures and things that Max is developing, or do you guys
a lot of that
get that from other people?
Well, it depends. It comes. You've got. It's like anything else, whether it's hunting, fishing, whatever. When an opportunity exists, you either jump on it or don't. And yes, we utilize our pro staff, but a lot of stuff we design internally and make ourselves. Yeah. And it just depends on types of fisheries. What are you looking for? Let's face it. I've been fortunate enough in 40 years in this industry to be able to hunt and fish all over the world, and in turn, learning from every aspect of fishing itself, you pick little bits and pieces up all over the place, and it helps you in designing product, understanding what fish or fisheries need, what you're looking for. It's a lot of fun. It's enjoyable to me. I absolutely love playing with stuff and creating things that are different. That's one of the big things that we do at Mack's Lure is we don't create Me Too product.
Sure.
Because guess what? Everybody out there does.
Yeah.
And everybody, if there's something new that comes out, somebody copies it and tries to, jump in on the bandwagon.
Sure.
You know what? That's not our game. I want to make something that is unique and create something that catches fish. I mean, that's, as you saw yesterday.
Yeah.
Guess what? I want to catch more fish than everybody else.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's the end game, right?
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
One of the niceties is you get to go test product,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Create something, go test product, which, I mean, geez, if people can figure out how to do that. If you got to just go sit there and work at the rifle range all day and test product, not a bad gig, right?
For that.
So Tommy'd be all geared wound for that.
yeah.
I mean, he'd be in his element there, right? A little protractor out and dials and calculator.
I get my TI-89 graphic
there you go.
calculator out. That thing.
There you go.
Calculator. Talk about some of the lures this time of year that are, I don't know if they're flying off the shelf, but just kind of the more popular lures going down the line right now of what's popular coming out of Mack's. What should people be using and for what?
Well, right now you've got, let's face it, we're going into the fall. Everybody's either hunting or you're a hardcore fisherman and you're out there, looking at the fisheries that we did yesterday. That was fantastic. We make the Rock Dancer jig. The Rock Dancer jig has been around for like 25 years. And the Rock Dancer jig is still relevant today. It works fantastic for twitching, as you saw. We caught a number of fish yesterday on it.
It's got that tail on there.
Oh, absolutely.
Lots of action, contrast.
Yeah.
Everything Coho want.
Absolutely. You're trying to create that little bit bulkier look, something that's going to attract, something that wants to trigger that fish to bite.
Right.
So in turn, the Rock Dancer is a bucktail jig that's been around for 25 years, but it's still relevant today.
Yeah.
So it works.
Yeah.
The walleye fisheries right now, you're going into the winter fisheries. Those winter fisheries in the fall going into winter, those fish are going on the feed bag. Those fish want to find as much bait as possible. When you find bait congregated, you're starting to find more fish congregating. I'm going to tell you what, one of the funnest things that we've done in years is learning some of the different styles and types of fisheries we've got. We make the sonic bait fish, which is a jigging spoon.
Jig them up.
I'm going to tell you what,
Jig 'em up.
you get out and get into a big batch of fish. I mean, last year we went out a couple different times. You catch 30 to 40 plus fish in a couple hours. That's phenomenal fishing.
That's good fishing.
That's
Especially in
phenomenal.
cold
Good sized
water.
fish. I mean, they're all 3, 4, 5 pound fish.
You're looking at 18 to 27 inch plus fish.
What I've always, what's intrigued me on those big walleye is like they strap the feed bag on, but what's funny is you would think with water temperatures getting colder, they would slow down a little bit and they wouldn't have to feed as often. But I don't know if they're trying to feed to kick in their thermogenic, generation of their body. I don't know what the trigger point is on that, but it's like
a freshwater lingcod is what it is.
They just eat
all
man.
the time.
I guess they don't turn off. It doesn't matter what the water temperature's doing.
I think it becomes more because water temperatures start coming down. They realize, they've obviously been around for a year or two. They realize that bait's going away.
So they go follow that.
So they follow. They try to get as much as they can get.
Sure.
They're not able to find those fish like they did during the summer.
Right.
They're not able to find the bait like they were during the summer. Therefore, they're going to get whatever they can get
now.
Absolutely.
It makes it easier for the angler too, because now they're in open water. They're not hiding in
Britton
weeds.
told me the other day, it's kind of like a squirrel packing nuts.
Pretty much.
That's how he equated it to.
That's what it is.
I have no idea
that's
what that means. But
that
that's what he
squirrel we
said.
saw down over the hill today.
So,
Well, there's no nuts on the tree, right? So when you put out the nuts on your deck, they're going to come and eat those.
absolutely.
when you lay them out there,
You take a sonic bait fish and you drop it down there. And guess what? They eat it.
Hey, what about the? We were talking last night at dinner. The kokanee fisheries on the east side differ greatly than the ones here on the west side. Now, if this lake was open year round, I would probably go out there in the wintertime and just because as a fisherman, you want to unlock the box, right? And I want to figure out what it's going to take to get these kokanee in the wintertime to bite. We have a few lakes here on the west side. A couple of them, you know, folks will start fishing them around January or so. And the last couple of years, I wouldn't say they've proven to be more productive. I just think we have more people fishing, so your encounter rate has gone up.
Correct.
Okay? But on the east side, it's kind of a go-to. We have people from the west side that go to the east side purposefully to fish Chelan and other bodies of water in the winter to go after kokanee. Is there much of a difference in some of the presentations Max kicks out for those winter fisheries versus any other time of the year?
You know,
same old, same old.
Some stuff is.
Yeah.
You know, you're looking at, you're trying to attract, so you're fishing dodgers. Mm-hmm. You're trying to trigger them into biting, so you're utilizing product that moves, whether it's wiggle hoochies, whether it's smile blades and squid, you know, the cha-cha squidders, things like that. But you know, you're right. It's very, very different. And honestly, I mean, I don't want to blow our own horn, but bottom line is you know, 10 plus years ago, Jeff Witkowski and I proved a point that you could actually catch kokanee in the wintertime, where most lakes, whether it's Northern California, the west side here, Oregon, you know, it's very difficult to catch kokanee in the wintertime. And don't ask me why. And we've yet to unlock that whole thing. But Chelan fishes extremely well in the wintertime.
Well, there's got to be something to the fact that the fish we target from spring to summer are the mature fish that are getting ready for this year's spawn. In a number of lakes, by the time we're fishing them late winter, those fish have moved on. They've gone into the creeks, they've spawned,
they've spawned, they're dead.
Right?
Yeah.
So now we're fishing on next year's fish.
Correct.
When we're fishing on this year's fish in spring and summer, our encounter rate of next year's fish is pretty low. We tend to get the bigger, more mature fish or the more consecutive biters. You'll encounter the next year's fish from time to time, but your higher percentage, day in and day out, are the bigger aggressive fish. So I don't know if that correlates at all because those fish are gone now and now we're waiting for next brood, but I think there's something to that they just don't bite as well as like a more mature fish. That's just my thoughts on it.
But there again, when those fish are gone, how come they don't bite? Those next year's fish.
Dead.
Huh?
No.
The next year's fish.
I know what you're saying.
Why don't they bite?
I don't know.
They do in Chelan, but they don't down in Oregon, Northern California, west side. You know, it's something that I'm not sure.
I don't know.
You know, we've yet to understand that. Chelan fishes fantastic in the winter.
We got 8,000 kokanee dumped in out here today by surprise.
Yeah, stopped down there.
Coming home, there's a truck dumping fish. I'm like, hey, what's going on? 8,000 fingerling.
I know, I caught a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, you did. Did you cast net out there?
Yeah.
So that was a surprise. I didn't know we were actually still getting fingerling kokanee.
Sure.
There's a whole biological reason behind that we won't get into. But yeah, it's, you know, the winter kokanee fishery is intriguing. I think we may see more of it with folks with boats who, you know, can't take their other means out and go steelhead fishing.
Sure.
Yeah. I just think we're going to see some of these transitional fisheries in the wintertime because folks want to go fishing. Yeah. And our steelhead fisheries are going to be in the toilet.
They want to catch fish and eat fish.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So, what do you think the most popular lures are this time of year? What do you guys see the highest percentage of purchase in for what?
Honestly,
trout and kokanee is the big number. So
yeah, your trout and kokanee fisheries are. You know, when you start looking at the cha-cha squidders with the smile blade on top, the different colors that you're trying to utilize, I see one of the things that I do see a little bit of difference between the spring fisheries and winter fisheries is a lot of the greens, the chartreuses, things like that, work really well in the wintertime versus your hot pinks, hot oranges, things like that work well, you know, in the spring, summer time frames.
Yep.
But the wiggle hoochies are fantastic. The crip lures are fantastic. All of them, you know, seem to work really well, and they're all triggering type baits.
Right.
So, you know, color-wise, same colors. You know, the pinks and stuff do work, but like I said, the chartreuses do work really well in the wintertime.
Nice. Fantastic. Britton, got anything to add?
Yeah, no, I think, you know, the majority of people that are watching are probably experienced anglers, and, you know, the beauty of our product line is everything we build a lure with, is available as a component as well. And so when you talk
That's
about
a really good point.
when you talk about the wiggle hoochies and you talk about the dozens and dozens of smile blades, when you're talking about fishing for walleye and matching the hatch, like the opportunities are endless.
Yeah, you can mix and match and create and build. And
something we don't build finished lures with is like a wiggle hoochie bill, and we make it in a hot pink, a UV orange, a UV chartreuse now, a UV and a clear, and so. If anyone's watching and, I wish they made it in this, this color or something, everything that we sell as a finished lure is available as a component minus, hooks.
Yeah.
So,
it's a great point.
When there might be someone out there that has a color pattern that works well for them in a certain way, but they might not be able to find it as a finished lure. Well, you can build everything, and it might be a little cheaper for you too.
Sure. Well, and part of the enjoyment is creating something, going out and being successful.
Absolutely.
Right? That's what drives a lot of us. As we often have said, 90% of the fish are caught right here in the garage.
Yeah.
Right. It's the creativity and what you can present out there that's different from other folks. Like when we were over there at Flaming Gorge a couple years ago, first couple days we were finding fish, but not in the numbers that I was hoping to get into. Did a little game change the evening before our last day, built some gold and black beaded lures with a gold, with the gold, what's that pattern on there, Richie? Scale, thank you. Yep. Gold scale. 1.0 smile blades. Put those out on the side planers and was responsible for catching 13 of our 15 kokanee.
Sure.
Right.
And it was a color and pattern change.
Yeah, that
picky little buggers, aren't they?
Oh yeah. So everything I was throwing at them the first couple days and constantly changing patterns, changing dodgers, doing the thing, going through the progression. And every once in a while we pick up a fish and I was catching more Mack on. I was like, it's unfamiliar territory other than jumping in Mike Hall's boat for a couple times out there and putting around. So I'm trying to learn the fishery.
Yeah.
And you start taking micro notes and trying to figure out what to do. And then just like you said, Britton, you have all these components and you guys have sent me all these bead packets and different blade configurations and stuff. And this guy told me, hey, been doing pretty good on black and gold. What, black and gold? I don't know. I got some different size blades and stuff. I'm looking at what he has. I'm like, I don't want to run that. And he had one single 1/0 hook. I'm going, no. So we went back to the house, got a beer, and sat down and said, let's build these. And we built a couple gold and black lures and just lights out the next day. And that's the beauty of it is you can take all those components. If you take them with you, knowing you're going to go do a fishery that you aren't accustomed to, haven't put a lot of time in, don't truly understand, and then it's Pandora's box, man. You can sit and create and try to build stuff, go out and hopefully find success.
Similarly, like dodgers. Dodgers are an expensive tool to buy.
Yeah.
But we sell all the tapes too. And so Bobby spends, 80% of his day cutting up tapes with X-Acto knife at work. He literally just sits back there and cuts up the tapes.
That's what you do. We figured it out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like when it comes
Is
to
he next to a window?
Oh yeah, 100%.
No, gotcha. they bought me a box of crayons.
We sell all of the sling blade tapes. We sell all the double D tapes. We sell all the scent flash tapes.
Oh, when you go into the catalog or get on the website and look through the product line.
It's expensive.
It's but everything is separated out. You can order this, mix and match. It's fantastic. So, all right, we went a little long here. We're going to jump out for a quick break. We come back. Britton, you're going to step out. We're going to make room for Richie Herrod. He's going to jump in here with Bobby. We're going to talk to Richie Herrod and Harrod Outdoors. If you're not familiar with him, you soon will be. So don't go anywhere. Stick through the break. We'll be back in a couple of minutes right here. Fish on Northwest.
Coho, an outdoor emporium, is the largest local outfitter in the Northwest since 1975, providing thousands of people affordable outdoor gear. This summer, make your next outdoor adventure more affordable by shopping at our warehouse-style pricing. We are a local Scotty dealer, offering sales, service, and repair. Located in Fife and Seattle, come visit us today. The outdoors await you.
It's easier than ever to browse homes and connect with an agent on the go with Better Homes & Gardens Real Estate's mobile app. With the app, your home search is synced across all of your devices, so you can pick up your home search anytime, anywhere. Take full advantage of an enriched, mobile-optimized map search experience. Use location services to quickly find homes near you that match your search criteria. Draw your own map boundaries to find homes in a specific area, and apply layers to view school districts, neighborhoods, zip codes, and more. The app's user-friendly design makes it easier than ever to find a home you'll love. narrow down your search results, save your search criteria, and save your favorite homes. You can browse your saved homes in a list view that puts photos and key details like price and square footage right at your fingertips. Or check out your saved homes displayed on the map.
Yep, for sure. Oh yeah, big fish. Yeah, buddy. Nice fish. Oh, beauty. Gorgeous fish.
Bobby's on the board.
We got a good one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, oh. No, geez, come on.
Nice fish. Nice fish.
Hey, welcome back, Fish on Northwest. Winning and Tommy Donlin here in studio. Bobby Loomis is comfortable and sitting, you know, comfort. Just make sure he doesn't fall asleep. That's your job.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we're far from that. We are far from that.
Oh, yeah.
Want to introduce everybody to Richie Herrod, Harrod Outdoors and Northwest Sportsman Outdoors. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great.
You're here.
I know. It's about time I've got over here, huh?
You made the drive. You actually took your life in your hands, rode in his truck.
I know.
Oh, wow.
You know, usually I drive, and I said, no, you need to drive this time. But then I kind of changed my mind about 10 minutes in.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's over there. You talk about a window licker. He's over there like this, you know, just out. You know?
Yeah, I might have went to sleep.
Just set the record straight. Nobody previous to you had said anything even close to window licker.
See, he does this to me too. It's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
He does this to me too.
Oh, he forgot about it.
Yeah, that's classic.
Yeah, it's short-term memory loss.
Oh, yeah. All right, Richie, hey, let's find out a little bit more about you and what you have going on. You've been in the media and television business with your outdoors, you and your family, long history, you know, down in Oregon.
Right.
I've been watching your show since it's been on and catching as many episodes as I can. And we'll talk a little bit about how you're bouncing around to different networks now. But you know, some of the stuff coming out of Oregon, your guys' goose hunts and your waterfowl hunts, and then of course, you know, deer hunts with your daughter, and just over the years your elk hunts and stuff, just fantastic stuff. Because it's kind of a storytelling kind of a deal, right? So, talk about when you first got established and how and why you kind of decided to create all this Harrod Outdoors and what you have going on.
It's kind of interesting, actually. You know, when my brother and I, we've hunted ever since we were kids with our dad and everything, and for whatever reason, and I'm not sure why, we kind of got into filming ourselves when we were goose hunting and stuff.
Yeah.
And we thought that was kind of cool, and we actually took cameras with us when we were elk hunting and stuff. And hey, did you see this? You know, that was pretty cool. And I had all this video, and I didn't really know what to do with it. I worked for the Forest Service for 27 years in the fire management program towards the end of my career. And one of the things I got tasked with is a producer, which some of your viewers may actually know. His name was Kevin Straley, who's no longer with us.
Oh.
Died in a terrible motorcycle accident, but he was a producer of Northwest Backroads and Evening Magazine for years and years.
Sure, yeah.
Yep.
And he came over and he was going to make a television show about firefighting in the Forest Service. And I was tasked with managing this permit. And he was a hunter. And so we kind of hit it off.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, I'd really like to learn how you do this stuff. You know, I got all this video. I said, I made this little goofy DVD that was terrible. You know, and I'm like, let me show you this thing that we did. And I go, now don't laugh, but I just want to show you this stuff, you know. And he showed it to me, and he was really kind. You know, he won 26 Emmys.
Oh, geez.
And so I was, you know, didn't really realize all that at the beginning.
Right.
And he looked at it and said, well, the next time you do one of those, you should do like this, this, and this. I'm like, oh, wow, that's cool. And so we worked together for a while, and I'm like, I did this, this, and this. And then he came back one time and stayed at our house, and I said, hey, I made another one. I did what you told me. And he goes, oh, you're kind of serious about this. And I said, yeah, I'd really like to learn how to do it. Yeah. And he go, okay, let's get serious. And then he just kind of took me under his wing.
What were you shooting with back then?
We had mini DV tapes.
Oh, really?
And these older cameras that weren't HD. Yeah. And then eventually he kind of loaned me one, and I was like, oh, this is what I need. Okay. We didn't shoot in full HD for a while, and then eventually I moved into HD cameras, which I have multiple of them. But that's kind of how it all started. And the company, Harrod Outdoors, we started in 2009.
2009, Harrod Outdoors officially kicked off. And did you complete and put up like 13 shows that year?
No.
Was that the deal, or?
No, that very first year what I did is I took some older content and we made a DVD.
Oh, okay.
And I was trying to sell DVDs, and that was right kind of at the tail end when DVDs, started
fading out.
And so the way that worked is you went off and you ordered your DVDs, and you ended up with like 3,000 of the dang things.
Garage load of DVDs.
Yeah, and for a long time I had boxes of DVDs, and my wife was like, when are you gonna move those DVDs? I'm trying to sell them. It's like, nobody wants DVDs. Like, I realize that now, a year later.
If you just figure out how to fit them in a clay pigeon launcher.
Well, we did all kinds of things with them,
They actually make good teasers for spearfishing and for tuna and stuff like that. You can drag them behind the boat.
The flash?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I could have made you a hell of a deal.
Yeah. You could have.
I had a lot of flashers for you.
How many you want?
So, talk a little bit about your passion, how you create your show, kind of the format, and just kind of from start to finish. If I sit down first time and watch something from Harrod Production, what am I going to see? What am I going to take in?
Yeah, so our vision all along when we started this was we wanted to make shows that depicted the average outdoors man or woman, and that's really what we wanted to do. We wanted to tell stories about the things that we do, which are the very same things that everybody can do. We took a lot of pride, always have, in doing hunting and fishing trips on our own and figuring stuff out. You guys were talking about that.
Yeah.
Building lures, to find the thing that works the best. And that's what we've always done. And so our show is really about do it yourself. And it's a more documentary style, nothing scripted. It's told through the eyes of the hunters or fishermen. And we just tell stories of what we do. And when I push play on the camera, as you learned, it's just what happens.
Right.
And then, there's editing, of course, so that you take out camera moves. And
you mean like when he loses fish?
He loses fish. Well,
so you didn't get any footage of him today or yesterday.
That'll probably go in, by the way. But anyway.
Me losing fish?
Whoa, hold it. Yeah. No editing going on there?
Oh, I have to edit the stuff that you said.
Oh. Me? I didn't. He lost the fish.
Yeah, but you lost your mind.
Yeah. So, this is true. So I do some editing, of course, just to make it look nice. And one of the things I learned from Kevin was, how to make a quality production. And he prided himself on doing things the right way. So that's what I've strived to do. But I still want to tell the story as it happens. And that's what we do. And we do hunting and fishing. It's not any one thing, and it's just like us. When it's springtime, it's spring turkey and it's fishing. And when it's summer, it's different kinds of fisheries. And when it's fall, it's hunting. And that's what we've always done ever since I was a little kid. And it's just part of the way of life, and that's the story that we try to tell.
Yeah. And it's always bothered me when you watch some shows and they just show like the same guy catching fish after fish after fish, right? And it's just the action shot. Boom, the rod goes off. They fight the fish. They land the fish.
Little music playing.
Little music playing. And then it happens all over again, and you don't learn anything, and you don't get the reality factor in it, right? So, like in the process of catching those 20 fish, you probably had somebody on the boat that bird nested one reel, right? Broke another rod. Like I did 2 weeks ago. And then,
wait a minute.
You know what I mean? The realism is gone, right?
We can't get both of them in the same boat.
No, you're exactly right, and that's what we do. And if we have trips that are tough, when I first started this, because I didn't really know how television would go or should go, and I thought, oh well, no one will watch a show if we don't catch anything or we don't kill anything. But the reality is we all go hunting and fishing, and sometimes it doesn't work out. That's just the way it is.
Yeah,
you
it's
can't
reality.
Can't be, you know, the best hunter and fisherman every day. It just doesn't happen that way.
Nope.
And so the stories need to be told about having failure as well.
Yes,
that's true reality
absolutely.
TV.
That's
Right?
and that's what we do.
Failures are true reality TV.
How it happens.
And why it was not.
Yeah, what'd you learn?
Exactly. You learn, you know, whether it's barometric pressure, whether
Right.
it's too hot, it's too cold, it's too, you know, why?
We call those excuses, Bobby.
I've got a whole book of them.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Why
That's
do you
where
think
the
you didn't
sunset
catch fish
pictures
today?
come in.
There's a pressure system moving in, and the water temperature dropped by 0.5 degrees Celsius. And you start rattling off all this stuff.
Exactly.
Like, you're
and they go,
smoke.
yeah,
So,
get out of here.
You know, we're going to delve into that a little later when we talk next segment about our experience yesterday. And really, I mean, kind of the differences, what I was experiencing and observing compared to like when I had Tommy out there a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. It's an ever-changing environment. And when we hunt and fish, you're going to have your best laid plan put together, and you're going to fail. We're not always going to succeed, right? So, Richie, talk a little bit about, you know, you got your sights set on in your mind, hey, you want to capture this content for this show, and the animals don't play or the fish don't want to participate, and you know, what are some of the tougher plans that you've had to go out and accomplish, and yet it just all fell flat, if you can remember a particular hunt or something?
You know, some of the harder things to film are the hunts or fishing trips that are weather hard.
Oh, yeah.
And so we've done a few ice fishing shows, for example, in the past. We've gone up to Canada, in Idaho, and now into western Montana to film ice fishing shows. And the first time I did one of those, you know, just from a filming standpoint, it is hard because your cameras don't like 10 degrees.
Right.
They don't like a snowstorm, and it's hard. And you know, just to get out there and do those things. So those sometimes are really hard just from a practical standpoint to film. A lot of our hunting shows are difficult to film, you know, because again, just like we've been talking, you don't know. It might take you 15 days to fill your tag, and am I going to be able to film for 15 days?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I've been lucky so far, and just about everything that we've planned to do has went pretty well. We had a waterfowl hunt that Bobby and I and Britton went on last year that it was a bluebird day, and we didn't get birds.
Yeah.
And you're just like, wow, no birds.
Yeah.
But you know, the day
Hawkeye.
before,
Oh, yeah, Hawkeye.
or the day, the next couple of days, you know,
Yeah.
they were good. And,
Yeah.
and you're just like, yeah, should have been here yesterday.
Right.
You know, and so those kinds of things do happen to us.
When you go, let's say you're going to do an archery elk hunt, like you guys were doing here as of late. How many guys you got with you to try and capture the actual hunt on film? I mean, you filming, but you got to have somebody else hunting along with you, aren't you?
Usually, it doesn't really matter whether it's a hunting or a fishing trip. It's usually my friends or family. So it's at a minimum one other person.
Yeah.
And like Bobby and I, we made a show up at Concanelli. We were kokanee fishing up there. That is a challenge because if I don't, what I really need is a third person.
Well, you got a camera, you got a person fighting the fish, and somebody's got a net.
I'm running
You're driving the boat.
I'm running the boat.
He's running the boat.
Running the cameras.
The camera. Yeah.
I'm the net man,
Yeah.
you know.
And I'm trying to run 4 rods.
He's trying to run rods.
And they're all bit.
My phone didn't ring, so I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
You know,
Tommy's phone
Thanks for the
didn't ring.
invite.
You know what?
Yeah, right.
You know what happens when all 4 rods are bit and you can't get them all out? You finally look at Richie and you go, put the camera down now and start reeling fish.
We'll tell them about it later. Yeah.
So it's usually, you know, I don't have I'm everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a pretty.
I get it.
You know,
I get it.
understand. I'm
Yep.
a one-man operation. You got to
Yeah.
observe what it's like. And usually what I like to have is 2 to 3 people with me. And more than that's fine. But really I've always just hunted with a couple of friends or family members.
That
And
makes
that's just
sense.
the way it is.
When it gets difficult too, when you're elk hunting, right? Especially archery elk hunting, right?
Yeah. People.
So you're trying to, you know, set your shooter up. You got your collar. you can't have an entourage of people following you through the woods, right? That's
folks,
that is
I'm gonna need
not
you to
going to
stay
work
back.
out.
We're gonna close the gap on this elk, and we're gonna get this on camera. If you could please just all
you need to stop
right there.
Cease and desist.
We don't do that. There's no production crew in the background. It's me.
Right.
And a lot of times, well, I've tried to teach Bobby, but he hasn't quite got the filming part down.
He's too busy cutting out.
He gets too excited,
tape.
and then he's focused, and the camera's like over here, down on the ground.
Another rod goes off. You put the camera down.
Right.
Yeah.
Now we have
Get rid of
Britton,
this
and
thing.
Britton knows how to run the camera. So that's good. And
He was grabbing it yesterday, giving you some time to fish, which was nice.
Britton does a good job with the camera.
Yeah, of course he does. He's technical savvy over there. Spending a day with you and the cameras and the gear you're packing, and you're trying to capture the shot, and you're looking at the lighting and the time of day, and I hear you talking to yourself, and you're running all this stuff through your head and trying to, and here I am thinking, geez, all we do is grab GoPros, and we get out there, and Jordan tries to get good shots and not have the light bleach us out, and we capture the active moments, and we always try to make sure we do an intro segment. As Tommy pointed out, the key elements of learning, trying to teach people what we're doing, not just catching fish to rock music and whatever, and then try to close it out. We have a great discussion at the end. We feel like there's a sense of purpose there, and we try to gather enough content that we can release here as a segment on the show, as a teaching point and conversation piece that we bring back here in studio to discuss. But it is nowhere at the level of the type of production you're kicking out there, man. It's, you've seen some of our videos, and they look like, videos on YouTube. But
hey, they serve a purpose.
They serve a purpose for what we're doing.
A great job.
But your stuff is just, it's that next level. It's TV production quality, and you're very skilled in everything you're putting. Just to sit me down and us having the conversation to capture that portion that you're going to put into this piece that you're going to produce for when it's available to come out. In the interview with me, just to capture the dialogue and walk our way through the day.
Right.
And as you will, I know how you will filter those in applicable positions throughout your show there. Just very professional. The lighting, you're checking this, checking that, just all those little details. I'm just going, Jesus, man, this guy.
Well, and that's what, and like I said, that's what the guy, that
wake up over there. I got people blowing me up over here. Hey, somebody check a pulse on that guy. What the heck, man?
I'm not talking, man.
You're just listening, right?
I'm listening.
He's paying attention.
I'm being good.
Yes, Nick, water on the GoPro. That's what happens when it's blowing sideways and we're fishing tuna. So.
Well, like I said, that's what Kevin, he really taught me to pay attention to the details. And there's a reason he won Emmys.
Oh, yeah.
He was good at
Absolutely.
it. And, I haven't won Emmys, but I've been fortunate to win some awards.
Yeah, you've done well.
To pay attention to the details, and that's, I don't know.
All right. Well, you ready for a halibut trip?
Oh, hell yeah.
All right.
Let's go film that.
Let's do that.
Awesome.
No.
All right.
You're in.
Can I go?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for participating, by the way. We're going to jump out for a quick break.
He's super critical.
I know.
This is what I have to deal with every week.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
We're going to jump out for a quick break. Our next segment will be brought to you by No Dose. No Dose to keep Bobby Loomis away for the remainder of the show.
God.
Right?
Here we go. Here we go.
Hey, I want to give a combo hat here away. We got a Max beanie and a Max trucker hat with their logos, their new logos on there. Number between 1 and 50. As soon as I see it scroll on the old ticker here, we'll award that prize to somebody. Number between 1 and 50. I got it in my head. I got it written down right here, actually. Tommy, I'm going to show you what that is right there. See that? Okay.
Got it.
Okay. Just so we're factual on that. All right, we'll kick out to a quick break. When we come back, more with Bobby Loomis and Richie Herrod. We're going to talk about our day on the river yesterday, kind of pull it all in of what they experienced, what they learned, and why they'll never come back fishing with me here at Fish Hunt Northwest. We'll be right back after this break here at Fish Hunt Northwest. Thank you.
A Northwest favorite for almost 40 years, Arima Boats are manufactured with pride right here in Bremerton, Washington. Arima Boats offers all of our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. With literally thousands of Arima boats on the water throughout the Pacific Northwest, Arima boats are a proven hull design that offers incredible fuel economy and all of the amenities that a serious angler is looking for. All Arima boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why we back our boats with a lifetime warranty. All of our Arima boats are designed to maximize deck space while also providing ample seating. Contact us today at Arima Boats for all your boating needs and let us help you get out on the water.
End of Watch Ride to Remember is a group from the state of Washington traveling across the country to honor fallen officers from 2019. End of Watch organizer Jagrut Shah says they want to show departments who've lost partners and friends they are not alone.
I wanted to bridge this gap that we have and bring back to the department, let the deputies or the officers know that their lost has not been forgotten.
In 2019, 146 officers were killed in the line of duty, and End of Watch Ride to Remember is on a mission to pay their respects to each of them.
For us, it's just important realizing that the men and women in blue everywhere should remember that they haven't been forgotten. We're not forgetting them. We want the families to know that their loved ones have not been forgotten.
All right, welcome back in studio. The in-between segment antics. Wish we could show those on.
Oh, yeah, be a good blooper reel.
Jeff Wilson, congratulations. You win the combo pack beanie and trucker cap from Mack's Lure. We'll be sending that out to you. Get on our messenger if you would, please. Get us your address and or phone number so we can contact you, and we'll get that shipped out here this week. We got a couple more prize packs to give away later on here in the show. Got to stick with us. We have the seasoning packet from Harrod Outdoors and the Work Sharp sharpening stone, and of course the big swag bucket from Mack's Lure. We got kokanee, trout, and salmon stuff in there. Walleye.
Yeah.
Walleye stuff in there. So fantastic. Appreciate you guys bringing that stuff in. So, all right, boys. Well, we spent a little day to afternoon to late afternoon, early evening.
Yeah, really.
On the river yesterday. We kept kind of having the conversation later in the day there. Well, we ain't got nothing else to do, so, which was a lie. We had plenty to do. But
we did, actually.
The fish were kind of snapping. So, Richie, from your perspective, you having all that time growing up and whatnot, fishing down in Oregon, getting out to the coast and whatnot, but haven't done it for a number of years. How'd that take you back when we first got on that stretch of river? We're pushing the boat down through there to get going, and just kind of talk a little bit about what you were thinking.
Well, it's so much fun. My brother and I used to fish a lot on the coastal rivers in Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he used to work in that part of the world. We grew up in Eastern Oregon, but we spent a lot of time over there. A good friend of ours lived in Western Oregon, and so the thing I always loved about coastal rivers is just reading the water and learning how to drift bait basically in a river. And so as soon as we got on there and all that fog on the river and the colors and everything, I'm just like, oh man, this is
taking you back.
Yeah, it's like 25 years ago when I used to do a lot of it. And my brother would call me, go get down here, so I would take off and go overnight to get down so we could bobber fish. And I learned how to bobber fish some time ago, and it was a blast. And so yesterday was just it absolutely took me back to those days, and it was a blast.
Awesome.
Yeah, I loved it.
Bobby, you spent most of your time in Southwest Washington area when you're here on the west side, never really having time or a reason because the fishing was so damn good back then. You just, I mean, if it's working, why go chase fish elsewhere? And you never got a lot of time here in the coastal stuff. So what did you think yesterday, first time in this general area?
Well, the fishing these smaller rivers and knowing, obviously it's been like this for a long time, and it's something that, like you said, staying down in Southwest Washington, our fisheries back in the 80s, 90s were so fantastic. We never went anywhere else.
Sure.
So never really coming up and fishing these smaller rivers up here, on the peninsula. It was just one of those things that styles of fishery, throwing twitching jigs, throwing bobbers and bait and stuff like that. Like I told you, I'm a dyed-in-the-wool bait fisherman. That's all I grew up on.
That's why we connected so many years ago.
No, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. When you're fishing a bait of egg, a small bait of eggs, all finesse fishing. 10.5, 11.5 foot rods, 4 and 6 pound tests. For summer run steelhead that are 20 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean all of that stuff started coming back, and it was fantastic. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
What would you think about the amount of fish we encountered? I had my expectations.
Yeah.
I might have embellished a little the night before, after a glass of red.
I think you did a little bit.
That was kind of we got one of the typical guide BS stories.
You did.
Oh, yeah. Should have been here yesterday.
Yeah, the water's super clear, super low.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The barometric pressure dropped down,
Right.
and it went, half a degree Celsius went down.
Actually, I just handed you my list of excuses. Said, here, read this.
Read this.
Become familiar with it because that's what's going to happen tomorrow. But
I am not taking you fishing ever again.
Yeah, I was anticipating, based on the conditions and a little bit of rainfall we had and the level of the river, and having fished it a few days prior, that I figured I would know mostly where the fish were going to kind of hunker down in, and we would have traveling fish, but I felt very strongly that we're going to have a handful of these pockets that we'd get to, and the pressure was going to be light because it was Wednesday. We ran into a couple folks launching about the same time we did, but once we pushed down and passed, we were around nobody all day.
Well, no, we had never, other than a bank fisherman here or there.
Yeah.
Other than that, we had the epitome of fishing. There was nobody there, nobody in front of us, nobody fishing.
Yep.
If we saw somebody, we went around them and went down to the next hole, and it was, everything was perfect. But guess what? That's why they call it fishing.
Yeah. We're not finding fish in every hole. And I was scratching my head going, what in the heck is going on?
The crazy thing is some of those holes really looked like they
would
be like the perfect holes to fish. And I couldn't believe it.
Dwayne, can we fish that one? No, there's nothing in that one. No, it's too shallow.
Bobby was standing up and eyeballing every little seam. Going,
absolutely.
Should I cast there? No, too shallow. Should I cast over here? That looks pretty good over there.
Which is what I want. I want aggressive persons fishing out of the boat. I'm rowing. You hit every little pocket, nook, cranny, bathtub, whatever you think might hold a fish. If we're losing gear periodically in the water, acceptable. Up in the trees, not. Bob, Burr. And
hey, when I went fish with him, he hung it in the tree, and so did Jordan.
Guess what? I never hung one in a tree. Now I did. I might have lost a couple bobbers yesterday.
You lost. Okay.
Liar, yes, thank you. From the
I never lost one in a tree.
You didn't lose it. You
Not above the water line.
I didn't get hung up in a tree.
So
a snag.
The approach for the day as we started was going to be bobber dogging the traveling water, and we're moving down, and the boat's moving, and because of the unknown contour and depth of conditions, right? And then when we get out on the bank and we can kind of gauge, approximate, and we use our bobber and our bait presentation as a depth finder.
Sure.
Once we scrub bottom, we bounce it up a foot or two, and then we've set our depth, and now we're fishing. So, and that seemed to, it works effectively, in my opinion, and that's how I like to present. So I was, scratching my head. We weren't finding the fish in the holes I anticipated, but sure enough, man, there's always last chance hole. Yeah. And, it bails you out from time to time.
You said it would.
Yeah, it's very weird to pass through all that really good water structure and holding opportunities.
Sure.
We encountered a handful of fish along the way, but not nearly the numbers I anticipated.
Right.
And to get down there, and once again, this damn hole continues to produce day in and day out. We watch fish coming into the river.
Yeah.
Right? And you almost set your watch to when the bobbers are going to start draining.
Sure.
But the other interesting thing was, compared to what we've experienced the last few weeks, was like the timidness of the takedown.
Yeah.
We've been draining bobbers, setting hooks, and hardly losing fish. And I've said it multiple times here in the last couple of days because I'm trying to figure it out. And Tommy even asked me, what do you think was the deal? And my point is, I lost more fish yesterday than I had lost all days collectively.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's fishing.
Well, we lost fish all the way down the river.
Yeah.
But the fish were not biting. They
Not
were
committing.
they were not committing.
Yeah.
I mean, you hook them on the back hook, you know, just basically not committing to really, you know, it wasn't a conducive.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of, you know, they wouldn't let me fish until the end, of course, because
Well, he's too good.
camera.
You just don't want
You got the camera, you know, and it's like
can't let the good guy fish.
these guys couldn't, you know, catch any fish, so I had to stay on the camera. But anyway, most of the time when we were going down through those other holes, and even when we got to the very last hole, there's a lot of times the bobber would just go down and back up.
Yep.
Which, and that happened a lot. And not only did we hook fish and lose fish, but we had a lot of this. And just not committing to the bite.
What's interesting about that, if you watch or have taken time to watch any underwater camera from other fisheries and persons videoing Chinook and Coho, to watch a 25-pound Chinook take a presentation into its mouth like that, clamp on it a couple times, and then spit it back out. And the bobber on the surface is just doing the thing. They don't change elevation. The angler doesn't even know that there's been something grabbing a hold of its bobber. Their ability to maintain that attitude in the bobber without sending a signal that something's going on is just a mind blow. But they can do it, right? And those little quick down and ups is like they hit it, bobber goes down. By the time it registers to you, they've already let it go. And then you're like, oh, I missed it.
You'll see other things too when you're bobber fishing that you know. Like bobbers will take a little spin. They will tilt a little bit. And if you've slapped the water enough to know how that float's going through that drift, you'll know there's nothing there that would do that except a fish.
All of a sudden it just goes sideways 3 or 4 inches.
Just a little bit, and you're like, whoa, wait a minute, you know, and that's what you're talking about. You know, they just won't quite commit. And it is interesting. We've done a lot of underwater filming before on our trolling fisheries. Same thing. Never indicate a bite, and yet we get stripped, and we're always like, well, how'd that happen? How'd that happen? And then we saw. And then little
they'll
suckers
come up hang on to that and just
knock your bait off.
Absolutely. The same speed. You don't even know.
So we
don't even know.
And we've had that motor mooching too for kings. You know, we motor mooch over by Renfro, and you'll watch your rod, right? And it's because you're using like 12 ounces of lead, and it's, you know, it's bent. And then all of a sudden that king will pick it up going forward, and it just slowly unloads the rod. And you know, the other parallel that I would compare that to is sword fishing, deep drop sword fishing. Because a lot of times those swords that are down there at 1,700 feet that you're catching right on the bottom or right 200 feet off the bottom, they'll head for the surface as soon as they grab that bait. They'll head for the surface and they completely unload the rod. And so you know that as soon as that rod just goes straight, you need to get on the gears and take line in, right?
Well, yesterday was enjoyable. I was glad to get you guys on the river.
It was great.
Can't wait to see how bad you butcher me on the production, but it's going to be fun to watch.
You'll get. No one's immune. No one's immune.
No one's immune.
No. He told me that a long time ago.
No worries. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time. Britton learned a thing or two, and his biggest takeaway is don't hang out with old men. That's his.
Exactly.
He keeps telling us that.
I know, but he keeps coming back.
I've got to get a younger crowd.
That's what he keeps telling us.
I got to get a younger crowd. That damn dog's back again, right? That's what happens when you feed him. We're going to jump out for a quick break. We come back. We have a couple gift baskets we're giving away, brought to you by these gentlemen sitting here in the studio tonight. We got to get to a bait lab, do a little egg curing. We're going to talk about how to make your current eggs that you're harvesting out of your tributary salmon a little more durable to continue fishing them later in the season here. So Coho eggs and curing in the bait lab when we come back, and we got the prize packs. And I think we're going to close out the show. We have yet to even dip our toe in the old hunting pool, so we need to.
And that makes me sad.
Yeah, I know. Little hunting discussion here.
I think so.
That's something we probably should talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's hunting season.
Well, we may run a little long, but that's okay. The content's fantastic. You boys are here, so I want to make sure we get that out there. We are going to definitely engage in some hunting conversation, and Tommy gets to lead when we come back later on after the bait lab. So don't go anywhere. Going to jump to the bait lab. We come back right here at Fish Hunt Northwest after this break. Allied boats are built by West Coast fishermen for West Coast fishermen.
Deep V 21-degree dead rise at the transom guarantees a smooth ride no matter the conditions. Allied offers all of our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. Allied boats range from 19 to 32 foot in length, so no matter what type of heavy gauge boat you are looking for, we have it for you. All of our Corsair 21 foot and larger designs come standard with reverse chine that is welded inside and out with no extrusions below the waterline, so that you will never have to worry about corrosion problems down the road. Get out on the water today in a boat that you can trust and enjoy with Allied Boats. Contact us at Allied Boats today to learn much more about our incredible fishing machines.
New days, new beginnings, new friends, new loves, new dreams, new goals, new scenery, new job. No matter what the next chapter holds, Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate will be there to help you find the new that's right for your lifestyle at any stage of your life. Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. Expect better.
Hey, welcome back, Fish Hunt Northwest. We are here in the Bait Lab. Bait Labs are presented by Mack's Lure, and we happen to have the Mack's Lure boys in the house tonight, so if you got questions for them, hit us up on Messenger before we close out the show. So before we get too far along, hey, we're actually talking bait curing here. I got my Epoxy products on the table, and we get a lot of questions on how to make roe or salmon eggs a little more durable when you're fishing them. It's no fun to actually put bait on the hook, throw it out there under your float, and have them come off about every cast, every other cast. So is there a way or a means that we can tighten up some of these more mature eggs that we're getting out of these fish that we're getting in the tributaries? So we got some fish yesterday. I went ahead and cured up some of the eggs last night. So this will be a two-part. I can show you finished product and how we take care of finished product and prep them for fishing the next day. So we're going to start off doing that. And then also I have some uncured roe from the Coho yesterday. We're going to go ahead and cure up with this recipe that I utilized for this exact process. First, when we get to here, after we've cured the eggs, they've reabsorbed about 80 to 90% of the juice back into the eggs. They're ready to do a couple things. I could actually freeze these in the bag for short-term freezing without vacuum packing. I can put them in the fridge for a few days or a week if I know I'm going to fish them. And or these would be ready to fish tomorrow. They've cured for close to 24 hours, and by 48 hours or so, these things are ready to fish. If I was going to fish these now, because they're done at this room temperature rate of curing, and I'll get into that in a minute, I would simply put them in the refrigerator like this and have them ready to go in the next day or two. So, but first, okay, I get these out the evening before. I'm going to go fishing tomorrow. Here's how I'm going to package these eggs up. So there's a little excess juice left on these eggs. This is my colander. I usually put it over a garbage can, but here on this pan for demonstration, we're going to dump these eggs into the colander. I want to drain off some of this excess juice, and I want to toughen these eggs up just a little bit. You can see how nice and plump these eggs are. The cure is in the skeins. Some of these were butterflied. Some of them were left just intact as they are because they are opened up enough for the eggs, for the cure to get into. I'm going to turn these in my colander, egg side down, skin side up. I'm allowing some excess juice to drain out of these, okay? And I would let that sit over the garbage can for an hour or two and just let that excess juice drain off of these eggs. And so we're going to set that over here while this drains, and then I'm going to show you how I tray those up, getting them ready for fishing if I was to fish these the next morning. Before we get there, we have a couple skeins here that we got out of a coho yesterday, and you can see that these are fairly mature. You can see how wide open these are. If this is in a fish in the ocean, you're going to see that that skein is much tighter. The skin is tight on the sides and the skein is opened up. But this fish is well up into the river, up into the tributary, and as that skein begins to mature, you can see how much more opened the flaps and the folds of the skein actually is, okay? I don't need to butterfly this skein. I don't want to open it up any more than it already is. It's open wide enough to take the cure that I'm going to put on it. This skein here, the smaller of the two, is a little bit tighter. I may choose to butterfly that, although looking at it, it's fairly loose. I may just leave it as is. This one here, I already removed most of the blood yesterday. So real quickly, we do have a little bit of blood left in this skein, and it's really easy to do. I can take the edge of my knife here, and I can capture these small veins up top here and push. We can push the blood back down to this bottom vein here, all the way along the egg, and I can move that blood down the skein, and I can pop a little hole right there on that vein wherever I choose, and simply with a paper towel I can wick that blood away off of the skein. You can see the blood coming out of the skein right there. So just taking a little extra time and getting the blood out of the skein, and we can do it both directions, or you can push it all the way to the end if you want, but it's really just that simple. It takes a couple minutes. It cleans the blood out of the skein. The eggs will cure and not spoil on you. However, blood is one thing that doesn't really cure very well. So we want to try to remove as much of that as we can, all right? So I now have this mature skein here. This one here, for demonstration purposes, if it's a little bit tighter and I don't think the cure is going to get into the skein, I take a very sharp knife or my scissors. Butterflying means we're going 1/2 to 3/4 of the way through. See how it just opens that skein up a little bit more by cutting the intact skin, okay? So now both of these are in a good wide open position here to accept the cure. So let's talk a little bit about the cure. Fire Cure is designed by Potskis primarily to cure eggs to fish for salmon. It has bite stimulants in it, and it has a pretty high percentage of sodium sulfites and other types of sulfites. So it's a sulfite-based cure. A very good cure, and fish respond to it very well. I typically use this cure on eggs that I get out of fish from either the saltwater, Columbia River, early in the main stem portion of their travels where the egg skeins are still tight, okay? Because it really doesn't do a lot to tighten up the skin on the skein, and you end up with a skein that is cured, but albeit a little bit looser, tends to tear apart, come apart easier. Milks out, puts out a good scent, but again, not a durable bait. To create a durable bait, I take the Baraxo fire, which is truly engineered to cure eggs to fish for steelhead, okay? So it doesn't have any sodium or sulfite in it, doesn't have any sulfites in it. It has bite stimulants, it has salts and sugars, and coloring and whatnot, in borax, obviously. So it's a drier type of a process that actually tightens up the skin, makes it a little more durable. So over the years of experimenting, I've realized I can take a full 32-ounce container of Baraxo fire, and I add into here, and you want to write this down, a 1/2 cup of sugar. I like to sweeten it up a little bit. I also add a heaping tablespoon of sodium sulfite. I've talked to folks, they don't think that's very much sulfite, but these fish smell in parts per billion. So when I'm adding a tablespoon, a heaping tablespoon, and you could put 2 tablespoons in if you'd like. I've also done that, it works, but I've kind of landed at 1 good heaping tablespoon. Sodium sulfite in the mix, couple heaping tablespoons of extra krill powder, the Potskis Firepower krill powder, just for added extra bite enhancement and scent. The fish really are drawn to krill, so I use it in a lot of these recipes. And that's really it. half cup of sugar, heaping tablespoon sodium sulfite for bite stimulant, and 2 tablespoons, heaping tablespoons of the krill powder. Mix that all in a container. I use a funnel to put it back in the bottle. You'll want to use some of it to cure your first round of eggs, and you're going to find that a majority of it fits right back into your bottle. Make sure when you open these, we're going to try to keep the top gasket intact as much as we can. That helps seal out moisture, because this type of product likes to draw moisture. That's what it does. So by keeping the gasket on there, you seal your jar back up. You're not going to have clumping issues and moisture issues. Now that I have my ingredients mixed and I've turned this from a steelhead based cure into something I prefer to use for salmon, that's going to have the sodium sulfites, the attractants, and the bite stimulants, and it's going to be a little a better cure for tightening up the skin on the eggs. Now remember, this has a very low percentage of sodium sulfite, so the concept of burning my eggs or making them to where the sulfite's going to wear the skin out, that's not the issue. So you can actually put a pretty good amount of cure on these eggs. And I no longer flip them over and do both sides. I put the cure on the one side in a pretty generous amount to cover that up. And you can see the moisture begins to come through that pretty much instantly. It attaches to the moisture on the egg and begins, it's already started the curing process. I do it on paper towels for a couple of reasons. My hands are relatively clean, although I always wear gloves when curing eggs because it makes a mess and I don't want my human scent all over the eggs. Although we put so much stuff on there, I really don't think it matters at this point. But just for cleanliness, I do it on paper towels, and then I'm able to fold these up. I simply, let me move this. I simply grab a Ziploc bag. I like to cure in Ziploc bags because I can tumble and move my eggs around, mixing up the cure pretty thoroughly. And on the paper towels like this, I can really just lift that up and dump it right into the bag, wad that up, and look at my area is completely clean. My hands are clean. I didn't have to get it all over me by trying to get that cure on there. If you think you need a little bit more, you certainly can sprinkle a little bit more on top of here, but typically by applying a generous amount on the egg side, you find that you have enough cure in there. Now, one thing I do like to do, I put 2 skeins in here. So typically to help with the mixing process and create a little more juice, and it absorbs more juice than it kicks out, because I always add nectar, which is nothing but 100% egg juice. I always add nectar to my powder cures. It helps to move the powder cure around in the eggs and gets in between all the folds on the skin and really gets the eggs to create more volume. The eggs will actually take in more fluid than they kick out, and you find the eggs actually plump up even more by adding a little bit of egg juice. How much? I typically go about a tablespoon or so per skein of egg. So, and I quit measuring a long time ago. I just put a couple shots in there. The other thing I like to do is I really like dark red eggs. I think they work very well, especially for salmon in the rivers that I fish. It's been proven over the years. So I rely on the Potskey's fire dye. Now you may think this is a lot of ingredients, but really all we're talking about is a Baraxel fire, a bottle of the nectar, and a bottle of the fire dye. And we're not using all of it. This lasts for quite a while. You can cure a lot of eggs with these products. You can add the extra krill if you want. That's one that you can choose to do or not. I'm going to add a tablespoon or so of the dark red dye in here, okay? And that adds a tremendous amount of color. Now I'm going to seal the bag up. I leave the excess air in the bag because I want that room to start mixing these around. This is exactly the same process I did on these eggs right here, last night. It was this same exact process. The powdered cure that I pre-mix and add those ingredients I explained to you. The sprinkle of the cure onto the eggs, adding that nectar and adding that fire cure, or that fire dye. So now I have to let the eggs do their thing. The curing process takes about 24 hours. The cure draws the juice out of the eggs. You'll end up getting more and more and more liquid in this bag. And then eventually it switches gears and starts drawing the juice back in, okay? What I like to do is about every half an hour I come out in the garage and I tumble this around and I'll leave it laying flat. I'm gonna move these back over here. And I leave it laying flat, okay? And I'll let that sit for about a half an hour, all right? Then I'll come back out and I'm gonna tumble it around again. What we're doing, gently tumbling, is we're mixing up the powdered cure. We're making sure all of it gets wet and all of it turns to liquid so the eggs can expand, contract, draw the liquid in. So we're gonna let that sit. I'm gonna do that about every 20 minutes to half an hour for the first couple hours, okay? Once this has juiced out and this bag is purple and the eggs in there are all changed color and they're looking pretty much the same, I like to roll the air out of the bag. And again, this is a couple hours into it, so give it time to juice out and never, ever, ever dump the juice out. Don't ever dump the juice out, okay? You wanna let that juice get created in there. You wanna roll it down to where now it's all completely surrounding the eggs in juice, and you just let it sit. Let it sit overnight, let it stay at room temperature for 24 hours. Putting it in the fridge is gonna slow down the curing process tremendously, and that's going to inhibit the ability of the eggs to absorb all that fluid back in. When you cool them down like that, the eggs shrink, the holes close up, and they don't draw the fluid in. Now you're going to have to dump the fluid off. So don't dump the fluid off during the curing process. Is exactly what it's supposed to do. 24 hours at room temperature. And I say room temperature this time of year in the garages, it's anywhere from 45 to 65 degrees, depending where you live. Could be a little colder as long as it's not freezing. Let the eggs expand out the juice, let them draw it back in. You're gonna find by the next day, 24 hours later, that packet's gonna look like it did at the start of this. And I can then put them in the fridge and or decide to drain them off in my colander, okay? So obviously these are ready to fish. How do I toughen them up just even a little bit more? I put the right cure on there to make that skin just a little bit tougher. I like to take plastic tubs and simply line them with paper towels. And then I'm gonna take these eggs and we're gonna lay them in here, egg side down, skin side up, okay? Do it like this. I'm gonna stack on a couple more paper towels, and this is just basically making an egg sandwich here in the container. Paper towels, another layer of eggs, all right? This helps absorb any additional fluid out of these eggs, and it helps firm them up so that they'll fish very well. I don't need to add any scent to them. I don't need to add anything else to them. I don't need to add nectar. Once I get enough eggs in the tub, I don't want to keep stacking them on there till I crush them down. I'm going to put a lid on them, and I'm going to set those in the fridge overnight. And that's how I'm going to put them in my boat the next day. Now, if you want to pre-cut all your baits, you can pre-cut your skeins, you can put them in paper towels and tubs, and have your pre-cut pieces ready to go. If you don't use a bait box on your belt and have scissors available, if you want to have this tub in your boat and have all your baits pre-cut, you can do that. If you want to leave them in full skein size, you can do that. But that's really the process. You start here, you go through all those steps I told you about, mix the ingredients, get the eggs to juice out, give them time to reabsorb 24 hours later. Don't put them in the fridge prematurely. Don't dump off the excess fluid until after a full day, and there's not going to be very much of it. And then you're going to tub your eggs if you want, and/or leave them in the Ziploc bag and freeze them. So that should pretty much clear it up. Any questions about the curing process and how to make those eggs a little more durable for fishing this time of year in your rivers and your tributaries, hit us up on our Facebook Messenger and/or our YouTube channel. Hopefully that helps you out. Go to our Potskis webpage, check out all the blogs and videos that we've created for years and years. All the recipes are there, and if ever you have questions on any of my recipes, blogs, or videos, do not hesitate. Hit us up on Messenger and go ahead and ask. Again, this blog is coming out in just a few days via Potskis. We'll get it out there on our social media when it's up and running. That's going to do it for us here in the Bait Lab this week. We're going to jump out for a quick break. We'll see you back in studio to close out the show with the boys from Mack's Lure and Harrod Outdoors right here at Fish Out Northwest.
Defiance boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why we back our boats with a lifetime warranty. All of our Defiance boats come standard with large fish boxes that are fully insulated so that you can ice your fish properly all day. Defiance boats feature a 21 to 22 degree dead rise at the transom and a large reverse chine for incredible handling and stability offshore. Defiance boats are foam flotation filled and unsinkable for the ultimate in safety while fishing offshore. Defiance boats feature fuel-efficient hull designs with large fuel tank capacity so that you can have maximum fuel range for making long offshore runs completely safe and affordable. All Defiance boats come standard with self-bailing decks for improved safety while at sea. Defiance Boat offers all our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. Defiance Boats for all your boating needs, and let us help you get out on the water.
Today, the need for quality private security services is at an all-time high. Contract Security Service provides day-to-day peace of mind as they protect people and property. Phoenix Protective Corporation strives for excellence. Above all, Phoenix security officers are managed by leaders trained to inspire and encourage greatness. Here at Phoenix, we provide service for multiple state and federal contracts, with service ranging from uniform, patrol, alarm monitoring, canine detection, executive protection, as well as investigative work. We here at Phoenix are looking for highly motivated individuals to apply. If you're a vet, retired or active, and would like to work with us, please apply.
All righty, welcome back in studio. Boy, I can't believe the crap you guys say during the break.
Oh, hi Kettle, this is Pot.
Yeah. Hi, nice to meet you. Hey, we got a giveaway to do, fellas. Richie, if it's okay with you, we're going to give away this basket. We got some of your spices in there. Do you know which ones are in there?
Yeah, it's all of our bottled seasonings, the Harrod Cookhouse seasonings, everything for, you know, red meat, chicken, and fish, and then an all-purpose seasoning.
Yeah, all-purpose. Okay.
Now, so the ones that we had tonight, we had fin and field, right? Was in the dip.
Correct.
And that was like the most amazing, like I call it fish taco sauce. That's what comes to mind.
No, it's actually called creamy jalapeno sauce.
Creamy jalapeno sauce.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
It's called the Fin and Field sauce. It comes in a little packet. Those are not in there, but you get a bottle of Fin and Field seasoning, which you can use as a seasoning, or you could take a third of a cup out of there and make that very same sauce.
All right.
There you go.
And then with the pankoed Coho that you did,
yep,
that was the lemon and dill.
And that's in there.
And that's also in there.
And,
all right.
And everybody can find all those recipes on our website, which is HarrodOutdoors.com.
HarrodOutdoors.com.
You don't
click on the recipes tab.
You don't have Coho crack on there yet.
Okay, so it's the same as the kokanee crack.
Right.
Oh,
but with Coho.
Same process,
Yeah.
Correct.
just different fish.
Different fish.
Oh.
And that's a first.
The Coho?
Coho crack's a first.
Yeah.
Well, that was delicious.
We could help you out with that, right?
And if my wife's lucky, there might be some. She may get some.
Yeah.
The pressure was on. We had to actually catch fish we could keep yesterday, bring home, and be able to do this
Exactly.
tonight. And,
Exactly.
it
Usually
all
where
worked
it
out.
goes. And after you have the crack one time,
Right.
then
You're
it's
hooked.
like, you better hurry up and catch some fish so we can have some.
Yes, indeed. Well, we've enjoyed that. We've enjoyed some smoked coho. We enjoyed Shing's salmon dip, thanks to Shane and Angie Vanderlinde giving us that recipe a few years ago.
That was good.
Really, really good stuff. So anyway, we're going to give away this basket right now. We got all the seasonings in there. We got the Work Sharp Sharpening Stone, correct?
Right, yeah. So Work Sharp is one of my sponsors.
Right.
And they've been with us almost the entire time we've been on air. And we have the Work Sharp Whetstone in there.
Oh, nice. And we got a couple Jinglin Jig T-shirts, or one. And we got a the hunting elk pattern, Tommy, in the green, one of your favorites.
That's one of my favorites.
Yep,
Yes,
absolutely. So, giving that prize pack away right now, number between 1 and 75. To get them rolling here, boys and ladies. We'll see what we come up with. Harrod Outdoors, big time. Yes, absolutely. Number between 1 and 75. Tommy, I showed you that number.
Yes, you did.
No, we are so close. Boy, they're flying in here like crazy right now. We'll just give this a couple seconds because it doesn't seem to take long.
Don't pay attention
Doug
to the
Page.
pay
Doug
attention to the misdirection here.
Page. Doug Page, you win. Doug Page, message is up. Number 43, Tommy. Doug Page. I think he's won before.
Has he?
It seems like
Awesome,
it. Doug, let
lucky.
us know. Congratulations.
Time to buy a lottery ticket.
Go ahead and hit us up on Messenger, address and phone number. We will make sure we get this shipped off to you sometime this week. Appreciate everybody joining in and playing here. Boys, before we get out of here, we need to talk a little bit of hunting. Deer season opens here on Saturday.
Yeah.
I have some plans. Tell me, what are you doing Saturday?
Getting ready for my hunt.
Yep. You got some elk hunting coming up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Yeah, just a little. We're going to have intermittent contact with Tommy. He's going to be like Bigfoot, hardly seen around here.
That's right.
So
that's right. I wish I was that stealthy.
Yeah. Avoid all trail cams at all costs, right?
Yeah.
And you fellows on the east side, you got some hunts planned. Things are happening here. Now, Richie, you're heading out with your daughter on Saturday, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. My daughter. So I'm a bow hunter, but my daughter likes to go out rifle hunting. So we usually try to put up a camp and hunt for as long as she's able.
When's the last time you shot an animal with a rifle?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
That long ago, huh?
Long time.
I can tell you.
No, you shot an antelope a couple years ago.
Well, it's been many years now already.
Yeah. All right.
But I also snuck up on it and shot it at 45 yards.
Oh,
so
stealthy.
That's kind of like shooting it with a bow.
I know.
Yeah. So you'll be spending the weekend with the daughter and
oh yeah, it's great.
Trying to get a deer. And you guys going after mule deer or whitetail?
Mule deer.
Okay.
But she doesn't get one. There's another chance, that we can go to some other places I know where we have whitetails in northeast Washington.
Right.
So hopefully we can fit that all in. She's pretty busy with her work these days.
Yeah.
Got to make time.
Are you going to archery hunt late season?
Yes, I definitely will. I have a late archery mule deer coming up, and then
nice.
Same thing. If I'm not successful there locally in our area there, then I go over to northeast Washington, where I have a few places there to whitetail hunt a little bit later.
Nice. Yeah. Is that a spot and stock with a bow? Or are you ground blind hunting or tree stand?
I'm all spot and stock, just pretty much with everything.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I got a few places over there with whitetail that if I really kind of figure them out a little bit, I will be putting up ground blinds.
Okay.
Yeah. And just quickly on that note, up in Kettle Falls area, they've had a really bad case of blue tongue with whitetail.
Yeah.
And talked to one of the landowners up there that's got quite a bit of property, and he was estimating roughly 70-80% loss on the whitetail up there. So it's hitting them pretty hard.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's significant.
That is significant.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bobby, what do you have planned? What's coming up this weekend for you?
Well, I'm going out with my nephew and going back and hunting some of the old stuff that I grew up hunting, and up in the upper Lake Chelan area. And the animal herd's coming back in that area. It was way down for years and years, but the numbers are starting to come back. We actually killed a decent head in there last year, and we're going to go back in there. That same area, but I'm not going to get too wound up personally. I'm going out and helping him predominantly for the next couple weekends because I have a late hunt tag.
You have a couple things going on.
Yeah, I've got a late hunt tag that I'm really excited about. Especially, it's looking like the weather's going to change a little bit. We might get some snow and start pushing those animals back down, on the migration routes. So.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I should be after 23 years, but no big deal.
23 years to put in on this tag.
Yeah,
we're certain it was on a list. But
watch list.
No, I was on a block list for years.
Well, your name hasn't always been Bob Loomis. Let's face it.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. But of all things, when it rains, it pours.
Mm-hmm.
I drew that late deer tag, and then of course congruent to it is the late cow tag that I drew also. So,
oh no!
Yeah, no big deal. So
can you get it all done?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like the confidence.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. You need freezer room?
Yeah. No, actually, I've got an extra freezer now. So
do you?
Oh yeah.
Okay. That man is a man with a plan, right? Yep. Tommy, when do you? Where are you going first?
So first I got Idaho.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there for a week on an elk hunt.
That's right.
And then I'm going to come back here and show my face around work for a week. And then I'm going to go to my Western Washington, rifle hunt for elk. And then head over to the east side for that late whitetail buck opener.
That's right.
And then, I might work another week, and then I'm going to head to Wyoming for another elk hunt.
That sounds like a plan to me.
Tell you what,
that's a good plan.
I want his program.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I've been stacking my vacation all year. I barely used it, and now's the time.
He's a man with a plan. Somebody's got to stay home and do this. So
exactly. Exactly.
It works out.
Don't worry, I'm gathering content and information.
The great thing is, those destinations Tommy is going to on Thursday nights, if he has phone service, we're doing segments with him on the road, so it's going to be really fantastic.
Good.
Check in with him and see how his hunts are going. And the nice thing is he's not gone the entire time. He's gone a week back. We'll be covering plenty of hunting content as we progress through the season. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to local hunting here for the next couple weeks. And if
I was
it doesn't
going to say,
all come
what are you
together-
going to do?
Well, I got a little, well, I was just about to call them Ben and Jerry, but it's
No,
actually
Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted's Big Adventure. So I got a few deer poking around here in the backyard, up over on the hill there, and gonna check out with that. I'm gonna Ken Witt, who's a blogger, a hunting blogger on our webpage, The Hunting Dad, phenomenal individual and very accomplished hunter, and I appreciate all the help he's given to me and the conversations we have, and just their whole deal is just so great. It's first and foremost, it's all family. And you guys can all relate to this, right? So raising his kids the way his dad raised him in the hunting realm, and his boys in their right are very accomplished hunters for young men. And you know, the father-in-law across the street, they got the garage where everybody shows up and hangs their blacktail and they skin them out, and then they got the big walk-in cooler and you hang your deer in there with everybody else. It's just, it's an experience. It's an experience, and we talked about it last year. You know, pull the trigger. Right? Right. It's as simple as pull the trigger, because we got together, it was the second to last or last day of modern rifle season, and we went hiking up in the hill and put on some miles, had a great morning, and you know, jumped a couple does, didn't really see anything happening. We come all the way back down, we hit the flat land, walking out through the reprod of alder trees, and it's just like, you know, stick timber, and we're walking along, Ken stops, he goes, look, deer, 30 yards away, there's this little spike standing there, okay? A legal buck.
Yeah.
Last day of hunting season. When we're up on the hill, we're talking about, well, if we don't get anything, there's late season, and we're thinking about our calendars, and maybe out of those 4 days, we might get 2 days to spend some time together, right? So you're kind of having that conversation. Well, we get down now, within a few seconds, the conversation goes from, hey, there's deer. Yeah, that is. Oh, wham! He does have horns. Couldn't tell if it was an alder branch sticking down or a horn coming up, right? An antler. So it's like, he's got antlers. What? Should I shoot that buck? Yeah, I should probably shoot. Bam! Right? Springs up through the brush and down he goes. Little spike. End of story. Hey, I killed a deer, meat in the freezer.
You betcha.
And so that evolves into field dressing that animal. We're about a mile from the truck. We drag it. I just hooked a strap to it and just drug it down the flat ground on the trail. Threw it in the back of Ken's truck. That evolves to getting over to his father-in-law's place. Other people showing up that they hunt with, and friends and family, and we skin that out. His boys are laughing at me because it's a spike, and you know, and
hey, it was a deer.
It was a deer,
right.
and we hang that in the cooler, and then Ken and I get together a few days later, and we break that deer down, and I bring it all back here, and then me and my granddaughter get to sit at the kitchen table and cut all that meat up.
That's what that's all about right there.
Cut all that meat up. And then I pull it out later, and I'm in the kitchen, and Sherry's in there, and we're grinding our own burger, and we're processing the whole thing, right? And from start to finish. And so Ken and I reflect back on that day to simply say, pull the trigger. If I didn't pull the trigger and I passed on that animal, and then the next couple days we hunt, I don't get an animal. I don't experience with him and
and
his
you don't
family.
get those experiences either, right?
And that's really the story for me. So, not to mention you get to enjoy that meat. Is phenomenal. But that whole story, that progression, and just getting to get in with these folks and what they do, there's a lot of meaning there.
Well, and I tell you what, you're talking about experiences, and people, you know, when I vacuum pack all my meat, I write the exact date that I harvested, whether it's a fish or a big game animal. I write that exact date on the package, right? And people go, "What the hell are you doing that for? You don't need to. You just put 20 or 21 or 19 or whatever the year is." And it's like, no, because when I pull that out of the freezer, to me, I look at the date and I remember that trip. Absolutely. I remember that hunt, right? And I relive it, and I'm thankful for that experience that I got to have, right? So that's what it means to me.
Well, all of those, everybody has a different experience, or what they, you know, really deem as what they take from that whole hunt. And you know, one of the things that you said, the whole family thing, that we only hunt with family. That's you know, when you start talking about big game and rendering them down, you know, taking care of them, doing the whole thing, you know, it's all family. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and I didn't grow up hunting. My dad,
see,
I grew up
exactly.
fishing.
You didn't experience that.
No.
You know, and Richie and I, that's what we grew up with.
It's the way it was.
I grew up fishing, you know, and thankfully I did. My dad is an accomplished fisherman by his own right, and I'm going to get him. You're coming on the show, Dad, by the way. That'll be great. Who doesn't want to listen to an 82-year-old man sit there and babble about stories, right? It's phenomenal information.
I do.
Probably
I love it.
I love it. So, yeah, Richie family, right?
It's all about family.
Raising your kids to do the same thing. You've done episodes with your daughter out mule deer hunting and stuff, and just what that all means to you and your brother and your family and your dad and just the whole deal.
It's something that's passed on from generation to generation, and for us, we talk about that a lot. You know, part of one of our brands is We Are Outdoorsmen, and that's what that's about.
Yeah.
It's just part of who we are. It's not something that's a weekend thing for us. That's just what we are.
Yeah.
We hunt and fish because
that's life.
It's our life.
Yeah, it truly is. It's not just about the kill.
No, not at all.
That's such a small part of it. It's all the things we're talking about right now. It's also come back from our hunt last year over at Potholes.
Yeah.
And I got them ducks in the back of my truck and Harper's 3, right?
Yeah.
Bestow this into my granddaughter. So show her the ducks. Next thing I know, she's walking through the kitchen carrying a mallard by its neck. And you're like, this is cool, right? Up until the point she starts petting it.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, this just got a little weird. Papa's gonna take the duck now, right? Because it's getting into that weird
Corn
element.
starts falling on the floor under the gizzard.
Did you get a picture of that?
Oh yeah, I got video. Oh yeah, of her walking around with her pet duck. It's fantastic. It was a greenhead.
And when they get a little bit older, though, and they start asking questions about that, you know, what's going on as well?
Yeah. Well, she understands big fish go in the freezer, small fish go back in the water. She understands that we eat deer.
I love it.
Right? It's all what you're willing just to talk to them about. Tommy's going to do the same thing with Thomas. That kid is eating nothing but whole natural, you know, venison, you know, elk, deer, whatever. Name the number of types of fish your son's already eaten. I mean, my God, right? So, and they don't know any different. You get them raised on that.
Sure.
1 and 2 year old when they start eating meat, and boy, they just love that stuff. Can't get enough of it. And I think you're doing it the right way if you do.
It's about the best protein on the planet right there.
100%.
You're not going to get anything better than that.
That's right.
Well, gentlemen, this is one of the longer shows we've done in a while. Tommy and I going into this, we kind of said, man, we may be here till 9 o'clock. So
that's right.
We probably can't keep folks around till 9 o'clock. We do have another prize basket to give away. Britton, are we good to go with that? We have a Mack's lure bucket here with walleye, trout, and kokanee, and some salmon, Dodgers, flashers, the whole deal. Tommy, a number between, we're going to go between 1 and 100.
Okay.
1 and 100. This is for all the marbles right here. See, don't show Bobber.
All right, got it.
Don't show Bobber what the number is over there, because he'll lose it, right? He'll lose it. So, yes. All right. Number between 1 and 100. Oh my God, Ted Beach.
No way.
No.
Ted can't win. All right, I need another one. Yeah.
Sorry, wow,
Ted.
that was
Sorry,
quick.
Ted.
Oh
that
my
was
God,
on it.
Ted.
That was on. Now people are scrolling and go, what did Ted put down? Yep, we're waiting on it. We're going to see, boy, the numbers are flying in here now. Better scroll back and see what Ted wrote in there, because Ted nailed it. Oh, there we go. Oh, Chiam. Didn't you win the knives from me? I think he did. Chiam, yeah. Very good. Okay, we got it. Got a winner. Chiam's a winner, and get me your info again. We're going to get you this prize pack from Mack's Lure, provided by Mack's Lure, Bobby Loomis and Britton tonight. So, well done. All right, let me write that down before I forget. And send us your info again via messenger. We'll get these prizes out to you. I love it when we give prizes away, because so many people actually get on. I mean, they're just that quick. They're jumping all over this thing.
I love it.
Ted, what the hell?
Really like that.
Ted sent in a number right away.
Oh yeah, he's the second one that popped on here, and boom, it's like Ted. Oh, Ted can't win. Yeah. He's a pro staffer.
He's a pro staffer.
He's probably going to sell it on the back of his van down by the river. Anyway. Right on, fellas. So great to have you here. I wish we had another day to fish. All Bobby kept talking about all day today is we should be fishing today. We should be back at that damn river, right?
Oh, yeah.
We should have been.
So, if you guys weren't in such a hurry to go hunting, we'd go fishing tomorrow.
I know.
Yeah.
I get
Decisions.
it.
Any final words, any takeaways, any words of advice for folks as they go into this fall, into winter season? Anything they should...
You know what? Go out and enjoy it.
There you go.
Go out and enjoy it. You know, get the family out. You know, enjoy everything that you do.
Yeah.
And don't do it just half-assed.
Right.
Do it 100%.
Yep.
Learn as much as you can. You know, you guys do a tremendous job.
Oh, thank you.
And, you know, you're imparting information to these folks out here that a lot of people kind of steer around. You know, I've told you all along.
Yeah.
You know, when you don't want to call it political views, but issues that need to be brought up, people need to see, need to make their own decisions on. You know, having something that might not be your political view,
right?
You know, people have to hear it. They have to know what's going on so they can make their own decisions. You guys do a fantastic job.
Thank you.
So
yeah, we appreciate that. It can be a slippery slope, but I think there's a way to present the material that's non-offensive and should, by all means, if Tommy and I are doing it right, and we try, that, you know, draw people together and we all can come to some type of decision-making process. So.
Yep.
Anyway, Richie?
Just thanks for having us on. It's great to finally come over here.
It's been a good time, my friend.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's maybe took too long to happen to come visit you
Right.
guys.
Well, it doesn't have to be the last one. That's
no,
for
it
sure.
doesn't have to be. And
you got more stuff to do out there in the wilderness together.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Dwayne needs a bobber sponsor too, by the way.
Well, I do now.
He does now.
I have no inventory left.
That's true.
Holy cow. Freight train bobber came through and stole all my stuff. So appreciate everybody hanging on tonight. Boy, we had a great turnout tonight. Lots of good info, a lot of folks chiming in. Appreciate that. Again, if you have any questions on the Bait Lab segment, go ahead and hit us up. We'll get the prizes into the mail. Please don't delay. If you are a winner, please get us your information as soon as you can so we can get this stuff taken care of in the next day or two. With that, Tommy, we're back next week, right?
Yes. Yep.
Just checking. So.
Yep. I had to think about that.
I know. I'll be here. The beard will be here.
Let's see, when he's saying we, is he talking about me too, or I will be here.
Yeah. All right, that's going to do it for us this week here at Fish Hunt Northwest. Thanks for joining us. Join us each and every week right here in studio, 6 p.m. We'll try to bring you relevant information, fresh content, and get out there, do what we do, and bring it to you. Hey, take some time, jump on our social media, jump on our Facebook page, post your pictures. We really like to see the pictures of those kids out there finding success. There should be a lot of deer hitting the dirt here in the next few days. Take some time, post your pics up. Let us enjoy that along with you. We love stories, and we love to see your guys' accomplishments out there in the field. So have a great week. Be safe. We will see you back next week right here at Fish Hunt Northwest.